So today I just wanted to take a look at the 1998 film Diary of a Serial Killer, also known as Rough Draft. So this does feature, I guess you could say, somewhat of a freelance writer, journalist. He basically takes on the role of whatever it is that he happens to be writing about. So the film actually opens with him dressed as a woman. He is visiting a trans club, and I guess it's just he's immersing himself in the culture in order to gain a better understanding, which generally I guess is not a bad thing, but when you have Gary Busey in a dress, that's kind of ill. I don't think he makes a very nice woman, but then again, I doubt he was trying. So it's, I guess during these events, he kind of comes into just subtle contact with a serial killer. He leaves the club and he witnesses a murder. So this is obviously somebody who was patroning the same club, and this person follows him home, and rather than actually killing him, they enter this whole contract of this writer is to document this serial killer's life, just kind of write an expose about him. So you can definitely see where this goes downhill very quickly. It's a very basic plot, basically just a very common storyline that we've all seen a million times over, I'm sure. So it isn't long before this guy just kind of tries turning him into the police. Obviously he winds up getting set up for a murder, and those who do know his reputation as a writer know that he immerses himself in his stories. So obviously word gets out he's writing about serial killers, so the general assumption is he's trying his hand, which not really. The acting is decent. I wouldn't say there's anything in there paying any particular attention to, except for maybe one very particular line. You have a discussion between two detectives near the beginning of the film, and this one guy just kind of pops off about, "Why do you look down on me?" So just to direct quote here, the line was spoken by a character named Stefan. The line goes, "Look down on me, you will see a fool. Look up to me, you will see your Lord. Look straight at me, you will see yourself." This is a direct Charles Manson quote. So to my knowledge, that is the only thing that is a very specific quote within the film. In the context of the film, it kind of sounds like this guy's just trying to put this other person in his place and prove that, you know, hey, he's not such a dummy. But it's kind of interesting taking into consideration where that quote comes from specifically. But, you know, that's pretty much the only thing that I found of note. So obviously we have the final showdown. The serial killer has cornered the writer fellow's girlfriend and plans to kill her. And if I remember correctly, they are actually in a theater, and of course Mr. Writer guy gets mistaken for the serial killer, and you know, he does get his name cleared, but what actually happens to the serial killer here? Obviously Mr. Writer goes on to write a book about these events, so obviously this whole ordeal wound up becoming worth it to him. But I guess you could say essentially that just kind of feeds into this whole, I guess you could say, pop culture iconography of how pretty much anybody with an infamous reputation can become a celebrity. I mean, numerous serial killers obviously have celebrity status to some degree, but I guess you could say that's also why Charles Manson quote was used in this film, which, you know, very subtle. You definitely have to really be paying attention in order to catch that, which I honestly missed on the first time I saw this. I missed it the second time I saw this. So, you know, it's definitely one of those flyby things. If you don't know what to look for, you're definitely going to miss it. Which is why I say I'm really not too sure how many other very subtle references or quotes actually exist in this film. But other than that, it's kind of boring. It's a very basic plot. It's definitely more of a time killer movie. I wouldn't say it's anything worth running out and buying and adding to your collection, but if you run across it at a Goodwill or something for $1 or so, you know, it probably might not be a bad pickup. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't go out of my way to add this to my film collection. It definitely has that very 90s vibe to it as far as dialogue, the character dress, but I mean, I just cannot say so enough. There's nothing stand out about this film. It's definitely a very basic plot, and as I said, essentially a time killer film, so I really don't have any constructive thoughts to add on this other than it's kind of boring. It's more of a thriller than anything else, and even then it's not very thrilling. It's a sleepy thriller. But that is all I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you later.